Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking at a case that, well, it really shook India. The story of Shraddha Walkar.
It did. It started as a missing person case, but quickly became something much darker. A symbol, really, of some deep societal issues.
And it wasn't just the crime itself, shocking as it was, but how it seemed to expose these fault lines in modern relationships, women's safety.
Exactly. And even this chilling idea of a perpetrator being allegedly inspired by fiction, by TV shows.
So our mission today, our deep dive, is to unpack the facts. We want to look at the timeline, the details, but also the impact.
Precisely. We've gone through detailed reports, notes surrounding the case, trying to get a clear picture of what happened and, maybe more importantly, what it signifies.
Okay, so the topic is the tragic case of Shraddha Walkar, a young woman whose life was cut short, and the horrifying details that emerged about her boyfriend, Aaftab Poonawala.
Yeah, and we're not just recounting events. We'll explore the timeline, yes, but also the truly disturbing details, the patterns of abuse that maybe were missed, and the big questions it raises about trust, safety.
Let's start with Shraddha herself, to understand what was lost. She was 27, described as vibrant, full of ambition, warmth.
Yeah, just a young woman trying to build a life. She met Aaftab Poonawala. They worked together back in Mumbai.
And they decided to live together.
They did. And that decision right there was a major point of concern for her family.
So the red flags were there early on. Her family was worried about Aaftab's behavior.
Very much so. They'd apparently seen signs already, him being emotionally controlling, aggressive tendencies, things that made them uneasy.
That's tough, knowing that the family saw something.
It is. But Shraddha, well, it seems she chose to prioritize the relationship, perhaps hoping things would change. She moved out of her family home.
And eventually they moved together.
Yes, they relocated to Delhi, to a small rented apartment in Morali. It's a sort of quiet neighborhood in South Delhi. Looking for a fresh start, you know, away from the family's concerns, maybe.
The fresh start, but sadly that wasn't what happened. From the outside, maybe nothing seemed wrong with their new place.
Right, just another young couple. But inside that apartment, things were apparently going downhill. Significant.
Did friends know? Was she reaching out?
Some friends later said she did. She'd reached out in distress, mentioned frequent arguments, verbal abuse, even physical violence. It wasn't just a one-off fight, it was a pattern, a disturbing one.
And wasn't there a message, a text she sent?
Yes, a really chilling text to a friend, essentially saying, if I stay with him, he will kill me.
God, that's heartbreaking. Her instincts were screaming danger.
They were, and the tragic irony is just how right she was. Makes you think about how often those cries for help might be happening.
So when did the final act happen? The murder itself?
According to the investigation and his confession, it was May 18th, 2022. After another big argument, he strangled her in their apartment.
May 18th. And what followed? That's where it gets even more, I don't know, calculated and bizarre.
That's the truly unsettling part. Instead of panic, the reports suggest an eerie calm. He allegedly started thinking about disposal, apparently drawing inspiration from TV shows like Dexter.
Dexter? Seriously?
That's what some reports claim.
Yeah.
It shifted from perhaps a crime of passion to this incredibly methodical plan to cover it up.
Okay, so what did he actually do? The details are gruesome, but important to understand the mindset.
Well, first, he bought a large refrigerator, a 300-liter one, specifically to store her remains.
Bought a fridge.
Yeah. Then, over about 18 nights, apparently he would leave the apartment very late at night, carrying small plastic bags,
Cool.
parts of her body. He disposed of them bit by bit in the nearby Chhatarpur forest. It's described as systematic, cold, methodical, just clinical.
And all this time he's acting normally to the outside world.
Unbelievably, yes. He maintained appearances, kept this web of deception going.
How? What was he doing?
Well, he used Shraddha's social media accounts, her phone too.
What? Sending messages?
Yeah, texting her friends, making excuses like she was busy or resting, maybe traveling. Trying to create this illusion that she was still alive, just distant.
Oh my God.
He even paid her share of the rent for a while. All while her body was still in the apartment, in that fridge.
The level of deception is staggering.
It really is.
Yep.
Profoundly disturbing. This went on for months.
Until October 2022. That's when her family finally filed a missing person report. Nearly 5 months later.
That's right. The complete lack of communication finally became impossible to ignore. They hadn't heard from her directly in ages.
So the police get involved. What happens then?
The Delhi police started investigating. Aaftab at first tried to lie. He claimed Shraddha had just packed up and left him after a fight.
A common enough story, maybe.
Initially, yes, but the police started digging deeper. They cross-verified his claims, looked at phone records, location data, bank transactions, CCTV footage near the apartment in the forest.
And the story started falling apart.
Exactly. Modern policing techniques, digital footprints, financial trails. The facade began to crack under scrutiny. And eventually, faced with the mounting evidence, Aaftab confessed.
He confessed to everything. The murder, the dismemberment, the disposal.
Reportedly, yes, every chilling detail.
And they found physical evidence to back it up.
Crucial evidence. They recovered, I think, more than a dozen body parts from the Chhatarpur forest area he indicated.
And DNA confirmed it was Shraddha.
Yes, DNA tests confirmed they were hers. They also found the refrigerator, of course, and tools he allegedly used. Even trace evidence, like blood spatters, in the apartment itself. Silent witnesses.
Wow. So when this all came out, the public reaction must have been huge.
Oh, immense. Absolutely immense. The country was just stunned. The media coverage exploded.
I remember seeing the headlines everywhere.
Yeah, you couldn't escape it. There were protests demanding justice, demanding it swiftly, and it sparked this huge public debate.
About what specifically?
About women's safety, especially in live-in relationships, which are still viewed with some complexity in parts of Indian society.
Yeah.
About recognizing abuse.
Yeah.
About whether the system protects women enough.
So it became much bigger than just one horrific crime.
Absolutely. It tapped into these deeper anxieties, these societal concerns about changing relationships, about violence hidden behind closed doors. It became a symbol.
A symbol of how badly things can break down when abuse isn't stopped.
Exactly. It forced a really painful look at vulnerability, especially maybe in relationships that don't fit traditional molds.
Yeah.
And where the support systems, or maybe the willingness to intervene, aren't always there.
And where does the case stand now? Legally, it's 2025.
The legal proceedings are still ongoing. These things can take time, which is often frustrating for the public.
But the public feeling is clear.
Overwhelmingly, there's a massive demand for justice, for Aaftab to face the full consequences according to the law. The case definitely highlighted that tension between the pace of the justice system and the public's need for resolution.
So, wrapping this up, it's just such a grim story. It's not just about one woman's death, is it?
No, it's a really brutal reminder of the darkness that can be hidden right behind a seemingly normal life, a normal relationship.
It really underscores the cost, the devastating cost of ignoring the signs of abuse, or maybe not knowing what signs to look for.
Until it's tragically, horribly too late. And the echoes of this case, the questions it raised, they're still being felt.
Which brings us to a final thought, maybe for you, the listener. How many more stories like Shraddha's need to happen? How many more women need to feel unsafe, or say they feel unsafe, before society as a whole truly starts to listen?